Hello, future residents of the United States, or should I say future teachers of the United States. In this video, I am going to be talking about what type of people do people that work in recruitment agencies like me not want to deal with when you apply for a job with us. So of course, this is going to be a lot of anecdotal evidence for me and just my point of view, but who am I? I am an international teacher recruiter. I have helped hundreds of people move to the US. And I can tell you definitely what types of people I do not want to work with. If you are not a teacher, I think you'll still gain some value from this video because it has some pretty generic qualities. But I will say that I love my job, but believe it or not, moving people to the US definitely has its difficulties and challenges. So I really have seen a lot, and I know who I want to work with and who I do not want to work with. One thing you have to understand, and this is specific to me and my agency, I really like this job because I feel like I'm making a difference. We have a national teacher shortage in the US, and I feel like by bringing in qualified teachers who are not only an asset to their community, they're an asset to the US, my country, our students, and of course my clients. And if you have, you just have a bad character, I feel like you wouldn't do well. I, in good faith, will not feel comfortable recommending you for an interview or to a job fair because, I wouldn't want to deal with you myself. I wouldn't want someone that works with me on my team to have to deal with you. And then I don't want you to taint a community, have a negative impact on students and other faculty members. And of course, I don't want to let my clients down. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so the first people I do not want to work with is rude people. Like I said, this is a very stressful job, and moving to another country is a very stressful experience, especially on that teacher, a little bit on me, not as much as them. And so I get it, it's a difficult time for you. But I, in good faith, do not feel recommending someone rude to work for a school district that I work with, schools that I work with. I don't feel comfortable having you in that community, and I think I'm doing a disservice to the people that live there, and I never want to feel like that. Most of the time, people that are rude do not get their contracts renewed. And one thing that you have to understand as an international teacher is, or anyone, an immigrant, when you are rude and you are looked down upon within your community, not only does that look poorly on you, it also looks bad at other people, other immigrants from your country, and other international teachers that might not even be from your country. And I say this because, especially in rural areas, there are some people that you are going to meet that are never going to even leave their state. So, I'm not really saying that most Americans are prejudiced and things like that, but it is kind of human nature to judge people. And if they have a bad experience with you, they are going to assume that all people from your country or all international teachers act like that. And there might be some people that even traveled with you who are working their tail off, and they're doing the best that they can, and they are a light and an asset to their community. But because of your behavior, you make them look bad without even realizing it. And you might not even intentionally be doing that, but that is the ripple effect that you have. So again, I don't want to do that to the community, my clients, the students, and I definitely don't want to do that to other people who come to this country and are working as hard as they can and are true assets because you are rude, nobody likes you, and you're going to ruin it for them. The second thing, when I see this in people, I don't want to deal with them, is if I can tell that they are not self-sufficient. So the US is a very individualistic society. You're encouraged to be independent. Women are, everybody is encouraged to be independent and do things and figure things out on your own. So I work for an agency that does everything we possibly can. I can say that in good faith because we work really hard to make sure that you are set up for success when you come to the US. And if you use an agency, you probably will have some support there. And we are there to hold your hand a little bit, especially in the beginning. What I know will never work out, and these people will not survive in the US, is if they're not at all self-sufficient. So what do I mean by this? I have times where I am not an employer, all right? So I'm not your direct employer, where I take people to an orientation with their school and I tell them, all right, if you have any questions about your pay, retirement, things like that, you need to ask this now in your orientation, okay? Okay. I pick them up and then they have a million questions for me about things that should be asked to their employer. No problem. Now you have a list of all those people and their contacts. You have their email, their office phone number. If you have these questions, write them an email, give them a phone call, ask, oh, can you do it for me? No, I cannot. I am not your assistant. I am not your slave. You need to do this on your own. And if you can't do things like that on your own, you really will not make it far in this country. I also have this happen to me in the grocery store. So the way grocery stores are set up in the US is when you look above an aisle, there will normally be kind of like a chart, a sign that tells you what's in that aisle. So, sometimes people will ask me, oh, where is this type of flour? Okay, well, look at the charts or the signs, and figure out where it would be. And if you can't figure it out, ask the employee that works here. Oh, can you ask them for me? No, I cannot. I am not your assistant. You need to be self-sufficient and ask these things, because what are you going to do when I'm not here? Are you going to suffer in silence, or are you going to open your mouth and ask? We're all adults. You made this journey by yourself. You need to be doing some things to help yourself and be a little bit self-sufficient. Some people, they do no research on their own. I know I can only speak for my company. We do a lot of training. They're in the training. I don't know if they listen to it, but that shows me that you're going to have a tough time surviving here. And once I sense that, I do not recommend people further. Last but certainly not least, these are in no particular order, are people who are not patient. So if you are not patient, you are not going to get far at all in this country or in life. In the US, we have a saying, good things come to those who wait. And if you can't do that, I don't want to deal with you. To be honest, I don't. So this starts all the way in the beginning, at the time you're looking for a job. It is highly unlikely that you are going to apply for a job or apply to work with an agency and they're going to call you the next day and say, guess what? We have a job for you. Pack your bags, you're coming. That's not really going to happen. So you have to be patient, even in the part of looking for a job. Then you might get a job. Great. Guess what? You still have to be patient enough to wait through the visa process. And that takes time. There's no overnight, hey, guess what? Your visa came in, you're coming tomorrow. Nope, you got to be patient, which is also good because you can use that time to research the town you're going, research life in the US, and do all of those things and get your affairs in order before you come. When people arrive in the US, I think they have unrealistic expectations. A lot of times people think that they are in a Hollywood movie and they are going to be like Jordan Belfort rich. The second they get here, the only way you will be extremely rich the second you land in the US is if you book a ticket to Las Vegas and you gamble at the airport. They have slot machines there, and you win the jackpot. It's highly unlikely, but if it happens, good for you. Please give me a cut. But if that's not the case that you're in, then you need to be patient. I have worked with so many people who they immediately want to bring their families. They immediately want a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartment. They want a car right away. And all of those things are fine. We encourage that if you can afford it. And the reality is that when people first come here, most of the time they cannot. So it would be a lot wiser for you to live with a roommate for a while, wait to bring your family, wait to buy a car. I also know so many people who have bought cars, gotten horrible interest rates on them. They don't have a license. they're not insured. They don't even have the car registered in their name. All of these things are crazy to me. And, I always say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Please don't put yourself in that position. So be patient, take your time, find the right opportunity for you. What's meant for you will come your way. All right, so I could go on and on about the types of people I do want to work with and don't want to work with. So if you found this video helpful, if you want more videos like this, let me know and I'll see you next time.